We are live. Hey, y'all, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy, James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen this video, but that's all right. It's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, my BFF in the whole wide world, Mrs. Best, aka my girl, Amina. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello.
Yes. How you doing today?
I am a little wounded from the fourth, but I am here.
Child, she was turning up on that fourth. Nah, see, that's okay though. Live your life. You only live once. So if you read the title, and I need to update it, make sure I do so. This is Love and Marriage Detroit Season 1, Episode 2 review, y'all. This episode, it gave a lot without giving a lot, if that makes sense. Did you
Yeah,
feel the
it
same
did.
way?
Yeah, like stuff was happening, but then there wasn't much happening because they were
Yeah,
all
it
in
was
their houses and just
it
kind of.
was really where I guess we were trying to see the dynamics of them more so, but it kind of was like they left out so much
I'm
of
like, why
like,
is everybody moving? Everybody's working on something. Russell and Kobe working on
yeah,
something. Brandon and
yeah,
Christina moved into a pen. I'm like, everything
yeah,
is.
and
Did you
then
guys do this for
Anthony
the
and Dr.
show?
Latoya, which her name is Dr. Minnie Mouse from going forward. I'm done with her after this episode, but Dr. Minnie Mouse and Anthony, because see, she wants to be quiet all the time when she need to be speaking up.
Mhm.
But we'll get to that in a minute. So the show pretty much opened where it left off last week, where Kobe asked the question. So you're developing a new artist, and Christina, his wife, did not know about this. So Brandon, he's looking at Kobe like she's starting drama when really you could have just told your wife what it was from the beginning. I don't
Listen.
understand.
It doesn't, even if you would have told your wife eventually, Mr. Man Bun, like it still would have been a problem because you told other people before telling your spouse. That makes no
So
sense.
you think that if Brandon would have told Christina after the fact that he had told and Russell, I guess, because Russell was the only person that knew, he just happened to tell his wife. You really think she would have been mad if Kobe had brought it up, knowing that she knew after the fact that Russell? Because realistically, she didn't have to know that.
Either way, no matter which way you look at it, I feel like Christina would have been upset if she was not the first person to know. That's the best way to explain it. She just
Mm.
gives me the energy of someone who's going to be upset because I get the feeling from the first few two episodes that she is holds on to things. So I don't. I feel like she looks for little things that could potentially be a sign to his history.
I see your point. And
Mhm.
at first, I didn't look at it that way because she does give me the type that holds on to things. And it's not holding on to things, as would throw it in your face. It's holding on because she feels like she doesn't have anything detrimental to really leave him for, because he technically did not cheat. He just emotionally invested some feelings into. I don't believe it either. I don't believe that either. But, hey, I cannot confirm it. So it has to be allegedly. We think that he did more. But at this point, all she is revealed. You're on me, by the way.
I don't buy it with Brandon. I just do not buy it. That's not going to get us in any legal trouble. What he's saying on the show is that he did not sleep with someone, but I don't believe him.
No,
I
nobody.
can't
I don't believe
listen.
him either. But
I
it's at
don't
the
think
same
a
time, I have to
damn.
go by what he says and what he's saying
The
and what
only
she is
people who believe
co-signing.
Brandon are attending that damn man movement that the other one is doing, Anthony.
I don't even think
Okay,
he
and
believes
those
it.
obviously aren't the brightest.
Yeah, those aren't the quintessential allies that you would want to be attached to. We'll get to that in a minute too.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, because I have some opinions about friend of the show over there that did not impress me not one bit. So moving forward, we then go to Kobe in Russell's home. They're doing some DIY projects, and they said that they loved doing it. It was a cute little scene. They're building another little raised mantle, whatever you want to call that. I don't really care. But he then opens the conversation with what happened at Christina and Brandon's 11-year anniversary party. And, she kind of going with the standpoint of Colby is going to standpoint, well, I mean, had he told his wife, we wouldn't be here. So, oh well, I just have to get out the bag. Basically, that's what she's saying. And he Russell's like, that was the wrong time, wrong move. And I'm looking at him like, no, that's exactly what she needed to ask. That's exactly to get this show started. Because you have to understand, y'all on a reality show. I get it if there was no cameras and she just opened up the can of worms. I get it. But something got to happen. So she did exactly what she knows she's supposed to do as being a content creator. We got to push the envelope. I need season 2, 3, 4, 5 until the show runs out. So no, I am going to start the unnecessary drama, which was very necessary for your friend's sake. But yeah, no, she did exactly what I thought she'd do. Do you think Kobe was really wrong for that? Because a lot of people on social media are conflicted.
So at first I was like, as you saw from the last recap, I was like, absolutely. I was hoping someone asked the question, but then I was like, but if that's your girl and that's your partner, maybe tell her that in private instead of a group of people. So that's the part for me that causes confliction. But then if you look at the setting and the way that it came out, it also appears like Colby only said something because she was given the opportunity and the topic came up. She didn't just
I
out of
don't
the
know
blue
necessarily think
say,
that it's that. I just think she really it wasn't that she was trying to be messy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I think she just was asking a general question to ask how business is. Because if we look at the premise of
Mhm,
Love and Marriage and what this show is supposed to, it's supposed to also highlight the fact that these are entrepreneurs.
mhm,
So, in the best interest of asking about business and building connection, because she is in content creator mode, on this show, it only makes sense for her to ask that general question. It just so happens that Brandon was being sneaky. So I feel
yeah.
like if I play a devil's advocate, I feel like I can't fault her. I just can't. Like
I can't either. Like I do
yeah.
understand and felt that slight moment of being conflicted, but then at the same time, you're on a reality TV show. So if it was real life and there were no cameras, you should have pulled your girl to the side the moment you found out
But she didn't know
about
that
that
she didn't. Okay,
privately.
but she didn't know that
But with
Christina didn't
there
know.
being cameras and them on a TV show, the right thing to do is to bring it up as soon as you have the opportunity, which she did. She didn't do it messily. I don't think she was messy. And at the end of the day, if Brandon wasn't sneaky, then this wouldn't even be a topic of discussion.
That's what
So,
my thing is because it's not like Christina. She knew that Christina didn't know. She just asked like as if he came home and told her because there's contracts involved. There is so yes. If we're at a table and I ask Josiah, he got a new artist. I'm under the impression you know about it. I'm not thinking to my
right.
mind, oh my God, Amina does not know
Which,
because
by
my
the
husband,
way, having a spouse who is in the music industry,
yes.
everyone involved, like Brandon is absolutely bullshitting. And there's most spouses, like I'm not involved in my husband's business dealings when it comes to music, but I know about every single thing that's happening. Like, so there's not anything that anyone can
I
come
feel
to
like
me and
that's
I'm like, huh?
different because a contract does come with compensation in that business if you're signing an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So it does affect the household on both sides because he could be putting up money as much as he could be making money.
Yep. Yeah.
So that could be taking away from the household as much as it could be adding. So I would feel like, yes, if it's taken away from the household, then yes, I need to consult my partner and let them know, hey, I just signed this artist and I'm putting up this amount of money to back them. I just want to make sure you're
I mean,
aware and
that's
this is the
it.
contract.
Most marriages, even if you have separate accounts and no joint account, it's
Right.
pretty hard to live with someone and not discuss income coming in and going out. So
Right.
that entirely makes sense. Either way, no matter which way that you look at it, if your husband's doing these type of dealings, you should know.
Hmm.
It's just it's just
Yeah.
how it goes. So I don't know. But what I did get, and I want to say that because I don't want to keep going back to Mr. fucking Man Bun. Listen to this old ass man with a man bun talk about he got to go to the club to sign a deal. The whole episode, he just blamed Colby.
Yes,
Everything,
and I'm gonna get to that
everything is
conversation you
your
have with
fault.
Christina
And
after
I'm
we're done with. Yeah, we're gonna get to that conversation you have with Christina. I ain't forgot about that because I'm gonna read the fuck out of him when I do. So, moving on, Russell lays on Kobe's lap that he wants to go to Divine University. And I am like, and I looked at her Kobe the same way she looked at her man. I'm like, the hell is you talking about? Like, that was not in the plans. So, for those who don't know what that is, it is when you actually want to become an ordained minister. I know a lot of people can do it online. It takes 20 minutes to get the license, but no, he actually wants to go to the university and actually get a degree and study philosophy of religion. So, Kobe is a preacher's child. Actually, her and Christina both. So she has firsthand experience on what this is like. So when he says he wants to go into it, the only thing I felt like she was thinking about was the trauma of her childhood because he knows all of her horror stories. So how did you feel about that whole scene of him revealing that to her and knowing her traumas with that? Do you think he was being considerate of her feelings, or do you think he was just really just throwing it at her because he didn't want to be like Mr. Man Bun over there?
so I got a few things from it. I watched this with like my husband was hearing it, and it was interesting because we both have very, very different perspectives. I guess he understood where Russell was coming from in terms of like some comment about a helpmate, and I was kind of bothered by it, but I'm like, okay. What I got from this is it seems like he's got a good relationship with her dad. And it seems like maybe based on his past and where he's at now, it seems like he might be doing it to like get close with her dad or something. I don't know. It's just to disregard your spouse's trauma and what you know. For me, it's just like the part that pissed me off. You're talking about you want a helpmate. So are you just supposed to ignore your helpmate's needs as well? Because your wife is telling you that this is something that's impactful for her and that's been extremely negative and that she doesn't want her children around. And you just ignored all of that and went on to do your own thing. So it kind of made me look at him like, what's your idea of women? Are you stuck in 1920? Or are you in 2023, Russell? Because at least talk to her, because most people aren't going to be like, no, I'm totally against it. But talking to her would have at least made her feel like her trauma was respected. But when you go behind someone's back in this type of situation and her having the trauma of being a PK, like, but you care about your spouse. So I haven't liked him really since episode 1, and it's episode 2. I still don't like him. And this kind of made me, I don't like any of these
I don't
men.
like any of the
I'm,
men,
I'm just
and
like, and the
I like
women are
Kobe.
like this.
Yeah, I like Kobe. I'm gonna keep her. Christina, I am on the edge. She can like jump off the boat, and I probably wouldn't miss it too
And we
much.
be all right.
And Dr. Minnie Mouse can go somewhere.
Yeah, she's useless.
I am not
Entirely
like
useless.
I'm not about to sit up here with her and go through all this bullshit with you. Tag teaming. First you over here, then you over there, then you over here, then you over there. It's like, lady, if you don't jump somewhere and stick with it, it's like, oh my god, I don't even, hold on, we ain't even on her yet. So after him then laying on it, then Russell pulls out to Kobe. He wants to open a fitness center. And I was like, okay, first you want to go to Divine University and get your mentorship and become an ordained minister. Now you want to open up this gym and put even more stress on her because that business is not easy to open. There's liability, there's lawyers, there's a lot that goes. People think opening a gym
It's
is an
easy.
easy business. It is not an easy business. That is the hugest liability claim in the world. I have been hurt in the gym. So that's how I know for a fact it's not easy because my lawyers were in constant communication with this gym and reviewing footage back of me falling off a treadmill. Like it's just, yeah, it is crazy. So I know it's not easy. So she's looking down and you can tell she wanted to cry because she's like, what are you doing?
You know what I peeped too? Russell uses God as a way to get away with being a shitty
As a
being.
scapegoat.
And
Yes, I noticed
I
that
don't
too.
I don't like that. That bothers me. That bothers me. You want to be a pastor, but you're using God as a crutch.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
what, and you
like,
know what's funny is that's what a lot of, and I hate to say it like this because I don't really care. This is my channel. A lot of black men do that. They
mm.
use God as a scapegoat to co-sign their fuck shit, and then when we call it fuck shit, then you want to put, well, God, and back in the Bible terms, men led and men were the providers and women were just supposed to be submissive and listen. And like you said, we are not in the 1920s. And it bothers me when a man was born after women's liberation wants to have all these ideals and all these principles and stuff. And then half the time you can't even stand in what you really are doing. It's always an excuse. It's always this. And I can't stand when men do that. And it's a lot of time it's black men that do this. And it's
Mhm.
like we need to get black men out that mindset. Don't raise your kids to think that, well, if you throw God in it, then it's gonna be okay. Then she has no choice but to accept
Yeah, I
it.
just think I just don't like Russell. He's an asshole. And honestly, he acts just like her daddy. And they say people who have trauma sometimes marry and end up with people who remind them of that trauma. So maybe it's just
I
that.
think he perpertrated. I don't think she saw
I
that right
don't,
away.
I don't,
So
all
it
I
makes me wonder
know
what her
is
dad was like before her dad became a pastor. Because something tells me that, and this is alleged. I'm not saying this is true. I'm not trying to, play on somebody's reputation. But what I'm gonna say is that I feel like before Daddy was a preacher, Daddy used to be like Russell in the streets and out there. It just gives that.
obviously, I think that too, because there's some type of a bond or something going on. But then at the same time, she's been vocal about the stuff she went through. Her daddy also, from what she said out her mouth, wasn't shit while he was a preacher. She didn't say what, she didn't say how, but she spoke about that. So I don't know what the hell is going on.
Their storyline's confusing me because it seems like he's just trying to dip his toe into everything while he's on this show
Mm.
and build up the momentum, which is smart. I'm not saying it's not. It's just their delivery and how they receive messages to their wives is very off.
They
And
have
it's
no
like,
respect for their wives.
yeah, and it's like,
Just
if for
put that
women to
out
sit
there.
there, especially Dr. Minnie Mouse over there, for her to sit there and just be like, oh, yeah, I know, but
I
let's forget
wonder what
about
these
that.
men are gonna do though. And I wonder if they're gonna change their tune because I do get the feeling that a lot of them are, like you said, perpetrating for the camera. It's season one, so you get a lot of perpetrational
Oh, absolutely, you
activities
do.
in season one of any reality show. So I'm curious to see who changes their tune and how at the reunion because I already get the feeling I'm just not gonna like these men. They're not likable. The way that they like the way as a female, like especially watching this, it's like I get irritated watching the show twice in a
Hmm.
row because I'm
Which is
like,
why I didn't want to do
there's
Love and Marriage
such a
Huntsville.
lack of respect for women and how they talk to their wives, how they demonstrate their marriages. I'm like, really, Carlos, a city that's struggling. So you could have had a good show without finding like the worst
The
examples
worst of
men,
toxic masculinity,
in my
Carlos. Because I'm
opinion.
telling you, I'm kind of like looking at Carlos side eye, like, okay, you really thought these couples, maybe one or two of them could have, been casted, but you couldn't find one couple that was not this problematic and not this disgusting and not this, detrimental to our society.
It's like there are African American couples that go through things, yes, but there's also those who would handle it
Way
better.
differently and
This
better. Yeah.
is like cringeworthy for me so far. And I'm like, that's my
Yeah.
only issue with Carlos King is I feel like he has a habit of kind of like exploiting like the people who are on his shows. Like it doesn't matter if it's a couple, it's not a thing about color. It's just kind of what I see happen with everything that he touches. And to some point we want reality TV, but then to another extent, it's like,
We don't want this kind of reality
yeah,
TV. So let's
like
be clear. Yeah, I understand what she's saying. Yeah, we don't want this. This was way more than what we bargained for. This is irritation at its best. I know Carlos likes to do that because the people who review his show definitely get aggravated. But at the same time, it's like, okay, there has to be at least one couple that could be likable. None of these three are likable.
One.
None
Like
of these three couples
one.
are likable collectively. I
Yeah.
like Kobe,
But
and
she's
a part of
likable
me
by
like by
herself.
herself. Yeah,
Having said this,
I could give her take with Russell. I'd be like, okay, you can just have
yeah, I
her on the
don't
show
care
and just
for
be
him.
done. Just say she's married.
Yeah. Yeah.
But moving on, we move over to Christina and Brandon in their new little high rise overlooking the Detroit water venues and all of the wonderfulness that it was. They're putting together furniture and, you know, she's reading her Bible, saying, I need the Lord. And it's like, no, you need reality. I can't stand when people do that too. Let me touch on this as well. I can't stand when people open up that Bible and think that's just supposed to make all the quintessentials of I almost cussed
She
it
did
when
that
mentioned
for
the
the
Bible.
camera. I
Yeah,
put
you
that
doing
in
that.
my notes. The whole
I felt like
scene
that too. I felt
with
like
the
your
big
face.
house and then putting together the bed in the small ass bedroom. Like I didn't understand the point of the scene. At this point,
I just don't. I want people to understand. Like, I don't want to be on this thing talking religion because that's not why I created this channel. But part of me has a different outlook because I don't have a religion. I am spiritual. Who I am and how I being, I am my representation of the God I serve. I am generous. I am nice. I am giving. I will stay up with you at 3 in the morning. I will do all of the things of service to any and everybody that comes to me. But I don't use the Bible as a way to ignore pain.
yep,
Because
yep.
pain, the abbreviation of pain is pay attention inward now. That is what that means. So Christina is taking this in and she's not paying attention to what is really the issue. She is numbing it by reading the scripture. And you can't do that. You cannot do that and think that things are going to get better. That's not what the Bible is for. That's not the whole intentions of practice. That is
I think she did that to paint herself in a positive and almost victim type
yeah,
way.
that's
I
what it
also
gave.
feel
Yeah.
like she did that for TV. So I don't even want to like say too much on it just because like I think when people do things like that, the best thing sometimes that we can do is like not even give them a
Not even
moment.
giving it. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. But I just had to put that out there because it bothers me when
No,
people
you
do that.
absolutely should because what she did was not okay. And what you said is exactly the reason why it's not. Look, God, I'm a person who considers myself to be a Christian. I pray every day. I pray for my friends, but I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. When I'm going through a hard time, sometimes it takes a second to remind myself to come to God. I'm not turning to a Bible. So I think another thing too is if you're turning to the Bible, are you skipping the part that says that the only way that God would see that a divorce is okay is if adultery happened, which in your case, you guys are talking about the history. So it may have happened. So she's not even reading all the books if she's
No,
turning to
she's
that Bible. She's
basically
skipping
she's
shit.
isolating the
Right.
issue, and it's
Because
like,
there's
and
a
that's what
lot.
I don't like.
There's a lot in marriage. And then the other thing I noticed, the Bible was conveniently open to the very center. When if you really know people who read their Bibles, sometimes they be at the very back, sometimes they be at the very front, but it's very rare. There's just dead center with perfectly placed. Like no,
Yeah, see, I'm the person I put it to my forehead and drop it on the table, and wherever it ends up, that's what I read. So, and that's my that's how you do it.
I was joking. I put it on
Yes.
the
I put
forehead.
it on my forehead and drop it on the table, and that's the section I read. So moving forward, Brandon and his man bun walk up in that little room, and they're putting together this little bed, and everything is Kobe's messy. Kobe is jealous of you. Kobe wants to be
He's
you.
gonna blame
Kobe
her
this.
for the whole
Kobe that.
episode.
Kobe and see, and to me, as he was saying that, a part of me felt like Christina was taking mental notes because I think a part of her believes that. And if that's the case, because let me explain something to y'all about content creators. There is no such thing as originality. There is no such thing. What
Mhm.
you are doing, someone else is doing. My inspiration of wanting to do a channel came from, I can name the three of them right now: Bondi Blue, Color Me Pink, and Scotty by Nature. They all inspired me to start my YouTube channel. So, with that being said, they all do the same things that we're doing. We're all reviewing the same shows. There is no such thing as originality. So, when he was talking about, oh, you having this reveal, whatever that was called, and now she's doing one, it's like nobody does anything original here. The only originalities is our thought process, and sometimes we all think the same and have the same ideas, which is why a lot of us wait until watching the reviews after the fact that we do our own, so we don't really think that and be influenced in that way. It's
I
influence.
need to look up their social media because they say because maybe that's why some of them are putting up with their husbands because what is Colby's social media? Let's see.
Okay, because yeah, I thought about that too. I was like, what does she do? What type of content creator is she? I know because I don't think I know her on YouTube.
Oh, other people have searched it because I didn't even have to type it in. Let's see, Colby Chantel Harris.
What does she do?
Okay, I'm going back to the Before Love and Marriage Detroit. Still going back.
Child, they've been promoting the heck of that show on their social medias. I don't go to none of their social medias because I don't even want to waste my time with them. But yeah, but Brandon and this
I'm
man,
looking at it and I don't know what she does. She's got pictures and stuff, lots of them, but it looks like most of it's from the show. So it doesn't look like there was much going on prior to the show. And the reason I wanted to look is because I'm like, maybe that's a money thing. Because before you can like monetize and make money doing social media, YouTube, things like that, like you have to meet certain requirements, quotas with followers, watch time hours if it's YouTube, all sorts of different things. So like obviously once you seem to be on the show, fine, but outside of the show, like what is it about you that made people want to come follow you on social media? So
right.
I
I
don't
see what
really
you're
see
saying.
that. So I'm like, maybe they're dealing with shit from Russell and Brandon because they're the ones with the actual income. Because outside of social media, what do these women do? And that's not even being shady. Obviously, they're moms. So if your husband's making plenty of money, hell, I wouldn't work either. Shit, I don't work now. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that. I'm not judging that whatsoever, but I'm like, maybe that's why they're more inept to deal with the bullshit from their husband, the obvious lies, the foolery, because maybe they're relying on them for income and being PKs. They probably don't want to have their kids in a broken home. I don't know, but
It's weird. It just both of those couples give me just strange, battered, women. So Christina then brings up the whole the artist situation. Where'd you meet her? Is she any good? What are you managing? And all this, that comes up. How did you feel watching that scene?
I'm over it. This episode 2, they have beat this topic to the dead. Like, we don't, bro, either expose it or don't. Like, it's that simple. But if you're not going to expose the full truth, then just keep it to yourself. We don't want it. Show us what's interesting about you guys individually, other than you fucked up marriage. Because I can't, I just can't. I genuinely, I don't care anymore. I feel like the whole season it's going to be Brandon's history with these fucking braces. It's going to be Brandon's history. And, Brandon did this and Brandon went to the club. He did what? You went to, girl. Obviously, he's not going to stop going to the club. Obviously, we can't change his history. What happened, happened. Okay. So, like, stop. Just accept it. He's on camera. He can't do much on camera. So lean into that or something, please. She's driving me crazy. She's driving me crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what Kobe's the only one really that I like. Other than that, none of the rest of them. Yeah,
Christina talked too
Christina.
much.
Yeah,
Dr. Minnie Mouse
Christina. It's
don't
like
talk
I
too
want to
much.
like Christina, but then at the same time, she's giving me every reason not to. I want to like Dr. Minnie Mouse, but she is giving me every reason not to like her. Anthony and Brandon already gave me that the first episode. I know I'm not gonna like them. I don't care how much redeeming qualities they
Anthony's
have.
the wife in his marriage.
Yes,
Two
and
wives.
and Russell, He just gives me sneaky. I'm sorry, something about him is sneaky to me. I don't know what it is, but we'll figure that out
Listen,
later.
that man is the what you be saying, toxic masculinity. I see
Yes.
that because how good are you? First of all, I know pastors. I got friends who got pastors in their family, got some of my family. Okay, they may not drink at the bar or at the Applebee's when we go as a freaking family to eat, but they're still gonna go because in
Well, first of all, people put pastors on like this holy,
he
like
doesn't show up
I know
nowhere
pastors that cuss. I know pastors that drink. I know pastors that gamble. I know pastors that do a
because the
whole
Lord
lot
says that
because
humans are supposed to sin. We're not supposed to praise no pastor. We're supposed to praise the most highest that's above. That's what we're supposed
exactly, and that's why I don't have a religion. You said it. That's exactly why I don't have a religion. What you just said, because we're
to.
putting all of this praise and making a man egotistical when that goes against everything that the Bible says. So it's like, no, I don't follow that. Sorry, I'm not going to praise somebody or have somebody tell me how to praise. No, it's in
No.
here. So there we go. Moving on. So going there, we go to this club scene where all the men come out and we meet friend of the show, Bravo. I could tell. As soon as I saw him, I said, "Oh, this is going to be the shit starter already."
He was cute.
This is going to be the shit starter. So Bravo, where is your wife? Where are them kids? While you was sitting over there talking about, oh, I don't have to get permission, or I don't have to do this. Oh, we still doing that? That's what we doing. You and Brandon over, not Brandon. You and Anthony over there with y'all He-Man and Women Haters Club. Really? Where's your wife at? Where's Mrs. Bravo? I didn't see her. Did you see Mrs. Bravo in this episode?
No.
Are we gonna see Mrs. Bravo later?
Listen.
Because I feel like Mrs. Bravo don't know about this. You give me the type that he gives me the type that has like the most like aggressively speaking, don't put up with no bullshit kind of woman. And here you is on this television screen. I feel like you the biggest perpetrator of them all. But this is his club that they're in. So this is Mr. Bravo's club. And Christina FaceTimes or calls Brandon. Now Brandon could have said easily, y'all, I'm in the club. Where did Brandon say he was at? He was at a restaurant, right? Or they was doing something. What did Brandon say? What was the lie? I'm trying to figure out what was the lie because at the end of the scene, I laughed. I really did. I said, Christine, you know it was loud as hell in there. You mean to tell me that you did not think with your two senses that he could have been either in a club or a lounge? You couldn't have thought that. That didn't register?
For the cameras. For the cameras. I'm sick of them already, primarily because they're using some shit that happened in their marriage to be back then, to be relevant now in front of the cameras. And this was you ain't no way in hell I'm gonna call my dude and hear all that noise and not assume that he's not somewhere like a club, a lounge, a festival, but obviously somewhere that is similar to the places I don't want him to be if I'm Christina, because I really don't care if my husband go to the club or he doesn't, but if he did, I don't care. But listen, ain't no way on God's green earth that you did not know the type of environment that he was in.
And
Also,
then when you heard Bravo's name, you said, "Is that Bravo?" She
right,
asked him
if you
that
know
he
that
owns a club.
he owns a club, then you know that that's probably the place.
Because
that
where
they're
else they gonna
at
get free
together.
drinks at? So come on, like
It's
I'm not
just
gonna.
it's irritating. It's so irritating. I it's irritating. And then he goes and tries to lie. Like I didn't even take the scene seriously because I was
Me
like,
either. That's why I don't have no notes. That's why I don't know what happened.
There's
Because I
too
was like,
much.
y'all not. I'm like, Carlos, you're not gonna play with me in this scene. Come
No.
on now, this was definitely set up for cameras, and we
Yeah.
all see it.
Yeah.
And the problem is that if push comes to shove, we know Brandon gonna lie. So I'm not even finna entertain that. But we met Mr. Bravo. He gonna show up again somewhere up on these scenes, and I'm not impressed. He was kind of like the friend of the show that I felt like y'all could have just kept.
He's trash. He's
Yeah,
useless. He's
yeah.
useless. It's like, okay, so you want to be as a grown ass black man, you want to be basically the wingman for a married man. You sound and look stupid, Mr.
But he
Bravo.
was wearing a wedding ring, so that's why I said, "Where's Mrs. Bravo?" Unless that wedding ring was just for decoration.
No, he probably is the friend that Brandon go with when he's doing business deals in the club.
Mm.
And I'm sure that Mr. Bravo is doing business deals as well, if you get my drift.
Something in better milk and
Yeah.
clean, as Phaedra Parks would say. I need to put my good eye on this. But
Yeah.
anyways, moving on. Anthony and Dr. Minnie Mouse meet up at their house. And he's over there making dinner, and she comes in and she goes, "Well, see, even though we had trouble, with him going to Atlanta, and it was hard on me because I'm a doctor, I'm in the hospital. I really do take for granted the things he does do when he's at the
You
house."
ain't at no hospital. You're in sports medicine.
That's the first thing I said. I said, "You're a physical therapist. What was you doing in the
You
hospital?
know, I'm
Did
trying
they
to
call?
like,
Did
you
they
ain't
call
Dr.
you?"
Jackie. No hospital. Sports medicine and the type that she's in when they were showing, like the type that people come to you once they've been released to the hospital from the hospital. Like, stop.
Right. That's why I was so confused. I said, "How are you a physical therapist? You're a doctor of physical therapy, and you in the hospital?
Right.
Like, were you just taking vitals and helping out the nurses? Like, what was you
They
doing?"
don't even do that. That's what CNAs and MAs are for.
That's why I'm saying I don't know
RNs.
what she could have done. I know you weren't doing no surgery, so I mean,
I don't know why she's trying to be more than.
she annoys me because you just said that it was not okay for this man to do what he had did. And now
This
here
is the
you come
thing.
talking about, well, I'm mad that he went away because he does everything else. It's like, well, which one is it?
I put in my notes that Anthony and Dr. Latoya need to talk more about themselves and less about others, their story with their marriage, the feelings about it, the whole story itself, inconsistent. It went
Yes.
from her not knowing and him just moving to her knowing and him moving when she said no, to him being someone who
Yeah,
was
I
coming
was so
home every week
confused. I
to
was
not coming
like,
home like that. So I'm like, you guys' story is not matching what you say in a confessional to each other in different scenes on different days to different people are all different things. And that lets me know that yes, something happened. But I just put in my notes, they need to talk more about themselves and less about others so that we can connect these dots as watchers and viewers, because especially with Anthony's old 15-year-old
misogynistic,
demeanor.
chauvinistic ass, damn.
Child, that I'm
Ugh,
whenever
it
we
makes
get
me
to the
sick.
last scene
Yeah,
of
that scene pissed me off. But
yeah.
Dr. Minnie Mouse, I need you to pick a side and stand on it. I need you to either be mad that he did what he did or shut the fuck up and let it be what it is.
And the
Because
other
we
thing
do
I
not
noticed,
know.
Dr. Latoya doesn't really interact with the other women so much thus far.
I'm gonna give her a couple episodes because they
What
all
do you think?
like, with the exception of Kobe and Christina, I don't think they knew each other before this show. I really don't. I think Kobe and Christina knew each other, but I
Mhm.
don't think that they knew Dr. Latoya. I really don't believe that. I
They
don't
probably
believe
connected through
through the
her
husbands.
husband.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the husbands all were friends because you have couples like that who don't really hang out with each other, but their husbands may be all in the same friend group. That's what they give me. And she always was isolated out. That's what they give me. I don't bit more believe they were friends before this. But yeah, I she annoyed me because it kind of feels like, to me, it really wasn't an issue him being in Atlanta, and you put it off like it is an issue on the first
Mhm.
episode, because I was actually feeling bad for her being that doctor and being left with the kids while he went off away. Because I said in my last video, he could have took them kids with him.
Yeah, there's something they're lying about in Canada.
Yeah, I don't
I
believe. I'm
think that
trying not to
they
believe it. Yeah.
have a history, as Christina calls it. There's a history with those two as well. And it's much deeper and much more in more situations than just
Hmm.
the Atlanta one.
Absolutely. So let's move on because I want to get to the last scene because we're almost 40 minutes in. So the scene before the last scene was Christina and Kobe meeting up. Kobe wanted to buy them an anniversary gift because she does in some way feel responsible for why the anniversary dinner went left when mentioning the artist. So I don't know where they were. I couldn't even tell you which name brand that was just because it looked like it was some of everything. But she goes to this place. She was telling the gentleman who worked there, she's into fashion and everything, which I still need to look at Christina's social media too, just because I need to see. what fashion she is in because I've never been a fan of anything she's worn. So Christina shows up and they are talking. And first thing Kobe does was apologize for revealing that information. Um, if it were me, and I'm sorry, I'm saying this on my YouTube channel, I wouldn't have apologized for a fucking thing. Now that I know my friend didn't know, I ain't
First of
apologizing
all,
for
I
that.
would have took it like this too. I agree. My husband told me to mind my business, so let me mind my business and not even go apologize, say nothing, not get into it, not act
Boom.
that deep. I'm done with it. Then you want me to mind my business? I'm minding my business. What the fuck do you want for dinner, Negro? That's where I would go. I I wouldn't want no parts of that after seeing how upset she got anyway. But Colby understands the assignment of being on a reality television show.
Which is probably why I wouldn't last too long because she sure wouldn't have got no apology. I'm like, so what happened last night that we left? Like, what y'all do? Y'all fight? I'd have been messy and nosy personally, but I wouldn't have. No, I wouldn't have apologized for that. That was stupid. I was like, Kobe, no, don't apologize to her because she needed to know either way. Because I feel like had you not said anything, I honestly don't think Brandon would have told her until after the show aired.
Oh no.
I don't think it would have told her.
He
I
would have
honestly don't
waited
believe it.
right before they got the edits because they see the
Hmm.
shit before there. He would have waited.
He would have waited. I don't think he would have said anything. So, or unless the girl would have revealed herself, which we don't know because we're only 2 episodes in, so we don't know. But I feel like he was not going to tell her right in that moment if Kobe hadn't said nothing. So, Kobe then reveals to Christina that, Russell found the calling and everything. And this is where we find out they are both preacher kids, both going through the same experiences, which I didn't catch the timeline of how long they known each other because I felt like they were talking about childhood traumas together. But I think that they met 10 years ago. I don't think they knew each other since they were kids. So, and then there's a 10-year age difference between Christina and Kobe. So it was, they were able to connect, but they all said the same thing. Like that's putting her back into that trauma. So I'm glad that Christina understands. It doesn't seem like these two are going to, from what we saw in the future episodes, it seems like these two are going to have a falling out, which is so unfortunate because if he does go through with the divine infinity of becoming an ordained minister, who is she going to have to lean on to really understand that situation better than Christina if we're putting the premise on this show?
The people in her life who actually know her. She'll be fine.
I'm just saying for the show's sake, because it would be weird for her to go to Dr.
Or
Minnie
they'll
Mouse.
bring in a friend of or
I
someone
hope so.
that's in her
Yeah, Kobe
life.
girl, you need a friend of.
Uh, I don't care for Christina, and I'm actually hoping that they get rid of her. I know they won't because her marriage and her life is a hot mess,
Yeah,
as
they
well as her
definitely gonna save next
penthouse.
season. Yeah, if I had to eliminate a couple, it would be probably Kobe and Russell
Yeah,
because Anthony made his mark the first episode, and so did Brandon. Russell and Kobe didn't do much. That's why we didn't have much for them last video. So
that's
now,
true. That's
yeah,
true.
so now we're gonna go ahead and go to this wine tasting. Yes, Dr. Minnie Mouse is the first Black woman to have a luxury wine. I don't know the name of it because I really do not care.
Is she
Uh,
though?
no, she's not. I guess in Detroit she might be.
Yeah, because I've heard of a. I mean, in the Safeways out here in California, they got a black-owned wine section. So I'm,
Yes,
I'm just like,
yes. I guess luxury wine. I don't
no.
know what that
There are
entails. I
also
don't know what that
luxury.
entails.
I love wine. Y'all should know. That's why I look this way today, drinking wine last night. Shit. But listen, I like shopping black owned alcohol specifically for brands just because it's usually reasonably priced or within the range of other things. So it works for me. I've seen women who are black who own wines that cost hundreds of dollars per bottle, some thousands. So I don't.
I just know
It has
that
to be a
I've
Detroit
known.
thing.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe in Detroit. That's probably what she's saying. I don't know Detroit that well. I don't know. I don't have very many
I
people
have
that live
had
in Detroit.
Opulence wine though
You
prior
have.
to this show airing quite a few times. I have. It is not something I see often, and it is a very good wine. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Dr.
I
Minnie
give
Mouse,
her
I
that.
may try it myself. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to guarantee it, but
It
if I
is
do
good.
decide to try it, I'm gonna send her a bottle, and we'll come on this channel on one of these episode reviews. Maybe for the finale, I'll send you a bottle, and then I'll have a bottle, and then we'll see what it is.
Okay.
Would
I'm
this
gonna
be
get that.
funny?
That we go to if me and you on wine on live,
Yeah,
everything we say ahead of time. Alleged.
allegedly. Allegedly depends on how far they piss us off going forward. So
Oh.
now that we are here at this tasting event, Christina and Brandon show up, and I noticed that Kobe and Russell were not there. I'm a little disappointed, but
Because it was
whatever.
alcohol. That's why they were saying Russell ain't going nowhere, but they got alcohol. So you can't support your
You
friend's
can't
business.
support your friends. I know that's why I'm mad about that.
Do you not
But
realize if you want to own a gym or be a pastor that you're going to have people come into you or need to go to
there's
people
a whole
around
section
alcohol?
about wine. I don't want to hear about this. It'd be different. We talking about some Hennessy, but just some wine.
People
Like,
make
come
water to
on.
wine now, Russell. That's all right.
Yes. But anyways, moving forward, Christina brings her little friend. Chelsea was her name, I believe. And if her name not Chelsea, her name is Chelsea in this video until I learned it. But they're Dr. Minnie Mouse is giving her speech. They're all getting food and beverages. They're talking about the wine. They actually had a coordinator to express how to, surface the wine, how to drink it, because it is a process. If for people who have never been to a wine tasting, it is a process. So not Brandon, Anthony with his messy ass, and Dr. Bravo, not Dr. Bravo, Mr. Bravo sitting on the other side of him, just talking about how Russell, didn't want to show up to the event because, at the club, he talked about how he had a life. And it's Christina, at the club. What club? And I was looking at her like, baby, you got to act better than that. You got to act better than that because she didn't even look mad. So it was like, what? He goes, and this Anthony, oh, I forgot. And we was born 2 hours ago.
Right.
Come on, Anthony. You knew your ass was being messy and bringing that shit up then. Come on now, cut that. I'm telling you, I can't stand when men do that shit. You really sat there sitting across from you, and you were sitting right across from her. You mean to tell me you really did not think to not spread that? Because I'm sure Brandon said not to say anything. I'm more
Anthony
than
is the
positive.
female. He's the third girlfriend. Like, stop. Like, it's he knows what he was doing. He's the third girlfriend.
Which is why I wasn't mad when homegirl checked his ass, because it was like, yeah, she goes like, so you really think that that's what you needed to do in this moment? Like, pretty much. And I was so here for her. And he was like, little girl, you stay out of this biz. You ain't even in this. This is, what did he
She
say?
kept her cool though. Shout out to Chelsea or whoever the friend was, because she figured out real quick, like,
her laugh was everything.
you want to be one of the little girls. She was so calm, and the calmer she responded, the
more angry
madder he got.
Because you could tell Dr. Minnie Mouse don't do that. Dr.
You're
Minnie
gonna
Mouse,
get involved in ladies' affairs, behaviors, and businesses, Anthony. You better conduct yourself like us, because one thing about women, before we come at you, we gonna read the room and observe you. So she knew exactly how to get you, and you landed right for it. Stupid.
absolutely, just stupid.
Entirely stupid. That ego was getting you upset because you couldn't take being read for
Which
Phil.
makes me believe, once again, that the dynamic of the relationship, this is why Dr. Minnie Mouse, that's why I call her that. Because her voice is very silent to minimal.
Well, she doesn't, what voice? I mean, my
it's
God.
like I can't with her.
And even when her husband is going off getting involved with another woman, like, all she does, she takes his arm, the camera shows, and tries to like she's trying to give him body language. Like, no, like, your husband looks stupid right now. He's behaving like a bitch ass.
And it's not like you weren't there to see it. You were sitting right there,
right,
looking at him demean this woman and telling instead of saying, "Get up right now."
Right, like, and if you weren't doing that, then at least be like, you're not going to disrespect my husband. This is my event. Please leave. Like, even if it wasn't the right thing to do something. She sat there. I was like, oh, this lady, you useless for this show. If you, I would have been telling Josiah, shut the fuck up. Like, stop.
I would have said all that is not necessary. All this is
Right.
not necessary because at the end of the day, you did spill the beans. And then Brandon, you messy as hell because you could have just said, "Yeah, I was at the club, baby, sorry," and we could have been moved on from this bullshit. And that's what I'm saying. These men on this show, y'all, I cannot. These women on this show, I cannot. Carlos, you got to do better with casting. Hire us. We got you. I don't
He's,
care how we got you. I need a nice little check. I will cast this show better than what you did because
was there
this,
no one else in Detroit?
yes, there's plenty of people in Detroit. You can't get there's plenty of if you can find the grown and gospel people and you actually have people who are known, then you could have found easily some at least one couple that was known, at least one couple who has better
Ooh,
entrepreneurship, at least one couple who wasn't
be
as
patient. Don't just
problematic.
throw the show
Because
on
he just threw this show
TV.
together. I don't
And then
none of
you
them are
put it
likable.
on TV on a Saturday night when the least amount of people are at home to watch it. It's just poorly put together. But as
It's
for
almost as poorly put together as Love and Marriage DC was. Because
mm,
Love and Marriage DC was terrible. The only, as I said, the only person I liked season one was Winter, and she wasn't even a main cast member. And then they made her one
mm,
because she was the only person that made sense. Even in season two, the only person that made sense. None of these people make sense. So I need a friend of, I don't know if it's going to be Chelsea. I like Chelsea so far. I hope she comes back.
mm.
But I need a better friend of the show. If
Yeah,
we're going to have couples that are going to do this, I need a friend of the show that's going to bring the real shit.
yeah, I agree. And I need more because Anthony, what's going to happen if they keep this cast? He's going to get to a point where I think that fans will start to, it'll become a dislike so strong that people won't want him on the show. And like for now, it may be okay because this show is new and there's a lot of couples. But the way he treated that young woman, calling her a little girl and getting so upset, she didn't even ask in a shady way. She just asked, "Why are you so invested in this dude?" Because it is strange. Friends or not, I don't care if you're straight, gay, or whatever. It is very strange when men behave like Anthony for their friends in situations that really like aren't that deep. Like, yes, men will stick up and defend their friends and be passionate and have the same care and love of their friends that any other gender would, but to go to the extremes that Anthony went for the situation, it just his bark did not match the threat at all. So that's the part
Mm.
that people are going to look at him like, okay, and then you're calling this woman a little girl. And then Dr. Latoya, what the hell is he saying to you at home? Because you really said nothing and saw nothing wrong with that. My husband will call me the little girl, even when we argue with
Oh
each other's
no,
face. I
I
am
feel
not
like it got a
called
little
little
elevated.
girl.
To me, I feel like that energy was just for Chelsea. I feel like Minnie Mouse over there get a whole lot more.
She gets, yes, that's
I
what
feel
I
like she
think.
gets a
So
whole lot more than that. I feel
he
like it's
needs
way
to
more
take,
detrimental, and that's why she's so like timid. And it's like, first of all, you're not going to be talking to me like that. I don't care. And first of all,
right.
and you're not going to embarrass me in this event here. I don't care if we did pay for it. I need this to come up. And you over here want to argue with another woman over you being messy. No, get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that was that's pretty much it, y'all. Because
That's
they
all.
left it on a cliffhanger. That's all we got. That's it. We're not even going to dive into this no more because there's nothing we can do. Carlos, do better than this. Come on now. I need another couple that's gonna really just knock it out the park for me. These couples are not doing it. They're just not. I'm gonna give this so YouTube world, I'm gonna do it like this. They got 2 episodes to spice this shit up and actually make it likable, or I'm gonna drop it. Because I can't. Love and Marriage Huntsville Love and Marriage fans are crazy in general. And I don't want to see Nanea woman defend any of them 3 men. I don't care
Mm.
how good looking they may be, but I do not want to hear it. But I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Do not comment that, oh no, you're wrong about Anthony. He's not, he's a good man. No, I don't want to hear that shit.
I mean, these are our opinions, so we can't be right or wrong on anything to anybody who does comment that.
Oh no, you're gonna have people that's gonna comment that's gonna say
Yeah.
some old fucked up ass crazy. I'm gonna start tagging you. I told you I'm gonna start tagging you on an Instagram post because these people be coming at me like I'm Hell, I said he was an axe murderer or something. Like it was just crazy. Like no, toxic. So that was it, you guys. We're going to go ahead and move it on to Love and Hip Hop on Mrs. Best's channel. The hot
Oh,
mess that was, and we'll see you all back on my channel. Y'all come back a little later because I'm going to do a fun little Q&A with the couples retreat. So we'll see how that goes for the season finale. Thank you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe to both of us. I know I didn't put it on there, but Mrs. Best's information is in my description box. Make sure you subscribe to my page as well. To the next review, you guys.
all
Bye.
right.